What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the neighborhood. Um, this is another Human Development Lab exclusive. It's like, no, another Human Development Lab insight. But real quick, hey, look, cause I was going over my notes, right? Some notebooks and shit, and it's an old notebook, but you got to go over your shit just to review it. I did this it says 12/27/25, right? And and the name of the title I had on it is Building Systems, right? So I'm just want to read y'all a quick passage real quick. So it says, why do we need systems? Quote, goals are for setting direction. Systems are for making progress. That's from Atomic Habits, James Clear book. So it goes on to say, discipline comes from having a vision plus systems plus identity. So basically it says you got to have a vision, you got to have a system, and you got to have an identity. You need those three things. So it says goals create expectations. So you got a goal, so that creates expectations. So you like, okay, this what I'm on, this what I expect to accomplish. Then you need a system. The system creates behavior or automatic behavior, like something you do automatically, habits. And then you need identity. Identity locks it all in together. So it's like you expect to do something, you have a system that's going to create the behavior of the person who for of the outcome you want to reach, and then the identity to lock it in. So you say, okay, I'm becoming that person who does this, that, and that. So basically you have goals, you set standards, like this is what I'm on, this is what I'm doing. And then you got affirmations. This is just what I wrote in my book, okay, in my notes. So I got goals, set standards, affirmations, declarations. So the declaration is, I am the captain of my ship, the master of my fate. And then new standard, only do tasks that move my needle forward. That's a standard. So then I got, so the first thing we do when building a system steps. So I got one, what is your end goal? List them. Then list the top one thing that will get the needle moving in that direction. Then two, what can I do daily, weekly to get me in to my end goal? Then three, atomic habits come in. What is the smallest action you can take? Smallest version. Then four, reduce friction. One, what slows you down? Two, what distracts you? What stops you? And that's all I have for today. Thank y'all for stopping by.